and welcome to Trax. If you tuned in tonight, you are very, very lucky because we have on with us tonight one of the most requested bands that Trax gets asked all the time to have on. We have Heartless. They're here for the next half hour. I want you to get on the phones right now and give them a call. And a little bit later on in the show, we have another outstanding band for you that came down all the way from Miami just to do the show tonight. They're going to be at the Rocket Club Sunday night. They are Vandal. You're going to tune in to them a little bit later on. They're going to play some acoustic stuff, and I think you're going to be very, very pleased with what you're going to be hearing. Listen to what we've cut with Fred at the Rocket Club. If you call in at any time during the show and you're 21 years of age, you will be going to the Rocket Club Sunday night to see, or actually to hear Vandal and to experience a 98 Rock Live broadcast. But you must be 21, so call in if you want to talk to Heartless, and call in if you want tickets to the Rocket Club right now. Guys, I've got to tell you, this is a real honor to have you on the show.
Well, thank you very much.
Honor to be here.
You know, I'm not kidding. Every time I run into somebody, people are like, why haven't you had Heartless on? They're so good. When are they going to be on? So I've got to tell you that this is it's a real pleasure to have you on.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
Have you ever just been in your car, you listen to the radio, and you hear a song for the first time, and you think, man, this is going to be a hit?
Oh, yeah, it happens to me all the time.
That happened to me when I heard Baby Jane.
Well, great.
And I have one question for you.
Billy T.
Why the hell aren't you guys signed?
Well, good things coming around, you know.
Wrong guys.
You know, we feel real good about what we're doing. We're in no hurry. You know, we're in a real comfortable situation, and you know, as far as the band goes, you know, we consider it a new band from when these five guys got together. And really, even though we would love to, you know, have a deal right now, some of our best work is now. You know, I mean, we're really beginning to gel, I think, even stronger than ever. No matter how strong we thought we were 4 or 5 months ago, it's nothing compared to the way we are now. You know, it's the strength of the band and the power of the band has just increased to, you know, now we're so confident. And as far as recording our material, it's getting to the point of backlog of not even having stuff recorded that's newly written by these guys, us.
Really?
You know, and we're sitting there every day. You know, like we just finished 3 completely new songs, and it's so hard to get them into our show because we don't like to do a lot of shows. We don't like to, you know, come off like, you know, that it's not special. You know, it should be special when we play. You know,
It's more than just like a night out.
Yeah. Well, Tommy, do you find that more people show up when you're not playing on an every night basis, when it's like a once-a-month thing?
Oh,
you tend to get a huge audience?
Definitely. Yeah, because you know, it's the kind of thing where if people get used to seeing you, it's not special. Like Kenny just said, you know, it's more of an event. You know, it's like a special thing. Wow, Heartless is playing. You know.
yeah. Well, it is a concert. Well, the thing is, if Van Halen played in Tampa every night,
Yeah, really.
you know,
There you go.
how do you think it would be on the 7th night?
Right.
You know.
And our local radio stations have been just outstanding with the support that they've given you, especially 98 Rock. I hear Baby Jane at least once a day. And that's saying a lot for...
That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that support too.
Yeah.
Though, you know, the station had told us that at first it was played, you know, because it was good, you know, but of course they wanted to support, you know, local stuff. And more and more requests, so they played it more. And then, I mean, it's actually on rotation there. It's not played, you know, once in a while. It's on rotation. Greg Ma, actually, program director for 98, had told me that, you know, it was showing up in the research, you know, as a regular song. I mean, you can imagine how many labels have called that we have never approached that weren't, you know, maybe not that person at the label or something, because they got the printouts from radio stations, and there's this Baby Jane by Heartless and this band, like, what? They're not even on a label, and they're getting played more than the bands on our label. You know, what's up? You know, so they call and want, you know, that's, you know, brought along a lot more interest, you know, from labels. But as far as interest from the labels, that hasn't been a problem. It's been doing it right, because really the truth is, when you sit back and look at the music industry, the rock and roll music industry right now, is this really a good time to be signed?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you hear about like Atlantic Records and all these other record companies that are dropping people right now. It's sort of scary, I guess, to be out there.
At the end of the year. Well, at the end of the year, they get rid of a lot of the dead weight, and then New Year begins, and that's when they start looking and scouting around again. But hopefully,
We'll be there.
yeah.
It goes in cycles.
Yeah, we're using this time here at the end of the year as it winds down to, you know, to polish up any other ideas that we have, you know, for songs, and we're going to go in November and do all of the newer stuff. Not all of it. There's too much to do. But it started out as, you know, 3 or 4, and then it got to 5, and as of yesterday, it was up to 7. You know, like trying to cut down the songs and then going, well, you know, we have to do this song. I mean, well, okay, well, if we have to do this one, then, you know, so it kept growing. But we're using this time, you know, to polish it up. At the end of the year, get all our stuff recorded, because basically, you know, the record company's like any other business. Right now, it's all the budgets are coming in, what they spent, how things went that they spent money on. You know, do we spend too much money on rock and roll or, you know, R&B or anything as far as that goes? But at the beginning of the year, they'll be getting their budgets down from the presidents and, you know, of the company, and saying, hey, you can spend this much on a new band,
different departments,
you know,
right.
and so, you know, that's when things can really happen for us.
Yeah. Chris, the band seems to be very business-minded. You know, you really seem to have, I guess, firm goals. You seem to know where you're going. For example, like I said, when I heard Baby Jane, I instantly called the radio stations. Where do I get a copy? Well, you can't. You know, and are you using a lot of this to send out, you know, a lot of what you're recording right now to send out to the record labels and to market yourselves?
Yeah, we're
And,
trying to
when
do
can fans and where can fans get copies of some of this?
I don't know. I don't even have a copy myself. I'm trying to get one. Everyone says, where can I get it? I couldn't tell you. I'd tape it for you, but I don't even have a copy, so.
Actually, the hardcore fans, you know, they can get a tape of, I think we have a tape with 5 songs, and we have a tape with 4, or 5 and 5.
5 and 4.
Well, actually, that was the way it was sent out to the record companies. You know,
Right.
sent the initial 5 interest, then we'd send them a backup tape. You know, but now every label has wanted the backup tape. But because of, you know, we didn't really expect Baby Jane to, or anything, you know, Something in Your Smile was the first thing they started playing. And after all that interest, then we said, well, maybe we should sell these, you know, with the T-shirts, you know, because, you know, we don't want people that really love the band not being able to get our music,
Sure.
you know.
Right.
So we've made it available in that way, but we're not really trying to sell it on a local level, you know, as far as a release. I mean, that's just not what this band is about.
You can catch you on the radio and tape it.
Yeah,
When
well,
we do our
listen,
live
I've been
shows.
trying to do that for months now, so I want to thank you for bringing in a copy for me, finally. We've got some phone callers. Let's get to the phones. Rick, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
We are doing great. Do you have a question for Heartless?
Yeah, they were just talking about the tapes. Is there anywhere where I can pick one up?
He's got to come through.
I'm
live
sorry,
show.
I didn't hear.
Is there
Rick.
anywhere that he can pick up a tape?
I'll pick up tape. Yeah, there's at any of our shows, you know, where we sell our T-shirts, you can get a tape.
Cool.
And, you know, if you call the Rocket Club, they might have some there for sale.
All right, that's the only thing I was curious about. I mean, you guys just about answered that earlier. That's the only reason I was calling, because
We'll run out and get that tape.
I listen to 98 a lot, and I hear that song, and I like it.
All right, great.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, Rick, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot for calling.
All right, later.
I want to talk a little bit about management. You're being managed by Fred at the Rocket Club.
The owner of the Rocket Club. JFG International actually has a whole separate thing. You know.
Entity from the Rocket. It's a separate business.
Do you think that management is essential if the band wants to make it
It
nowadays?
has to be.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, this is a business, you know, and that's, you know, that's the bottom line. This is a business, and I'm very much into the business of the band, but I would never ever want to, you know, walk along that path. You know, I always, you know, have to say this is the band. You know, even though as close as we are to Fred, it's, you know, Fred and the band. And, you know, Fred deals with the, you know, the record companies, publishing companies, anything like that,
Stations,
how he
radio
wants.
stations.
You know, that's his business. And our business is the music.
Yeah,
You know.
it is. It's very important to have someone that you believe in and that believes in you. So in other words, you're putting all your trust into this person. And, you know, we feel very confident with the person that we have handling our futures, our lives. You know, because
You can always get, bands can get lucky and get seen without a manager, and, you know, things like that happen. But if you have a manager that's really on top of things, you know, things are going to happen much better for you, you know, and you're going to get a better deal and treated better, and you know, maybe not get ripped off and things that happen in this business. And there's a lot of that
And
going
it's
on.
hard to get a manager. It's hard to get a manager, period.
Right.
Despite you to get a good manager. You know, you want somebody that's on top of, you know, knows what's going on and knows when someone's talking to them and when they're, you know, feeding them a line and when, you know,
Absolutely.
You know,
that you're not going to be mismanaged into
Yeah.
signing stuff that later on
well,
you might
I don't
regret.
think anybody could put the scam on Fred.
No, that's true. That's true.
Oh, God.
You know, so you know that's really a good thing because there's tons of bands that have gotten signed or not even gotten signed, just been managed by people, and you know things went down and it's been like, well, our manager was taking care of it, and how did this happen?
It just happened to
Right.
Billy Joel. He just had
Yeah.
something like that where he lost millions because he didn't even know where his money was going. His management, you know, just totally, he put his trust in his management, and his management invested his money without him knowing it, and he wound up, you know, in trouble. So it's very important. I mean, I'm sure that bands that are out there now looking for management are aware of it, you know, because it's not
Right.
something that like, oh, what is that? You know, management?
But
Everybody knows.
I'll tell you though, what's that mic on me? I'll tell you, a really important thing though is it has to be good management, because if it's bad management, it's
You're
worse than
sunk.
no management.
Right.
I mean, it's not like just run out and get a manager. Well, you manage me.
Sometimes they just want that 20% if you're playing out and anything you're doing, it's just a paycheck for them.
Oh, yeah.
And some guys don't, you know, he takes, you know, personal interest in it. I mean, he wants it to happen for us just as much as we do. And I think that is the most important thing about it.
You know, he believes in the band the same as we do.
He
It's
calls
not like
himself the
he's-
sixth member.
You know, he's not like he's this other person that's like, well, the songs are all right, and the band looks cool, so I'll manage them. It's not like that. You know,
Sure.
he's always, you know, every couple songs that are written, you know, he wants to hear them. You know, I always have to remind him, Fred, it's not done yet. You know, we'd rather you hear it together. You know, as
whole
we
unit.
visualize it. You know,
So he's really a part of it.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, of course, what's going to happen now is that he's going to get flooded with phone calls from up-and-coming bands. We want you
Yeah.
to manage
He's already
us.
had that.
that's been
okay.
going on for a
He
while.
gets tapes and demos every day. He gets stuff.
Fred, we are not responsible for any phone calls that you may get.
Well, that's his business. That's a business. You know, it's a separate business, and you know, he's always looking for something good, just like a record company.
Well,
you know.
great.
You might say, well, we have thousands of bands, but they're still looking.
Great, guys. We have a full call board, so let's get back to the phones. We've got, is it Eddie? Eddie?
Yeah.
Over there. How are you tonight?
Great, how's it going, guys?
Good, how you doing, man?
Hey, I've been to a couple of your shows, man. You guys really kick it up pretty good live.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
We love
I
doing
wanted to
it.
ask you a question. That song, Baby Jane, is pretty cool for a ballad. I was wondering if you're going to release like a real rocker tune, because I know you guys got a lot of heavy songs that are pretty killer live.
Well, the next stuff we release to the radio, I think, will be
Right up your alley.
rattle. Yeah, it'll get the job done. We're going to be recording like Witch's Brew. I don't know if you're familiar with that live.
Yeah.
And Christine, and those, you know, those lay down the groove. So that'll be some of the heaviest stuff that goes to the radio.
Well, good luck, guys. You kick.
All right,
Thanks
thanks
a
a
lot.
lot.
Thanks a lot, Eddie. Renee, how are you tonight?
Hi, good.
Do you have a question for Heartless?
Yes, I do. Do you have any girlfriends?
Oh, you know, those are the questions I'm not allowed to ask
I
you.
plead
So,
the fifth.
Yeah.
mind answering those?
I have a lot of friends.
Yeah, a lot of friends that are girls.
Yeah.
So, in other words, Renee, Renee, how old are you?
I'm 17.
Well,
17.
Renee, send your picture, your
And you
phone
could
number
be
over
next.
All right, you like these guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen our
We
shows?
like you then.
Thanks.
Do you play a lot of all ages shows?
yeah.
As many as we can.
Yeah, as many, you know, we go out of our way to always make sure. I think we had a lot to do with Fred at the Rocket Club extending to 18 and over, because
Yeah.
we were always like, you know, man, we got to be able to play to the younger people. You know, that's, you know, this is rock and roll. You know, this is for them. This is why we're doing
And listen, they're the ones that buy the
Yes,
records.
they're the
So
ones that have the money to buy the records.
there you go. We do need to take a break. I see we still have a full call board. Stay on the lines. We'll take your calls right after this, and we will be back with more of Heartless. Don't go away. To Trax, we are back with one of the hottest bands in the Bay Area, Heartless. They are here for about the next 15 minutes, so give them a call right now, 576-2266. And guys, we're talking a little bit about your songs on break. What inspires you to write? I always wonder that with bands. You know, is it just something clicks, you watch the news and you go, man, I'm going to write about that, or a pretty girl? I mean, what inspires you to write?
I think everything.
Everything,
does.
yeah, really.
Everything. I know everything that I see influences me. I mean, I just paint the picture in my mind. You know, a lot of the way we do things is somebody in the band will come to me and say, I was thinking about this, and this, and then I'll ask them, I'll go, well, how do you feel about that? And, you know, and then they'll tell me how they felt about what they said. And then I'll say, okay. And then I'll come back and I'll say, does this paint the picture at all for you? And then they'll go, ah, there it is.
So it's
You
a
know?
group effort, you know. It's not just one person saying this is how it's going to be, and
No,
every member of the band really has.
Yeah, we all take, you know, influences from every day, you know, things that affect us and write, you know, each of us come up with ideas and put them all into the pot of soup, you know, and it comes out, you know, and that's just everyone's got their own little thing in it, and that's what makes us Heartless. You know?
Yeah, we kind of, you know, we create, and then, you know, we kind of hold court. You know, I'll sit back and I'll say, like, you know, if I have any beefs about the song, and like actually just questioning, like, this part may bother me. Does that bother anybody else in the song? And no, okay, then it's just me. Then it's, you know, and then I'll go around and say, you know, do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it? Just like that, as a matter of
It's really a
fact.
group effort.
You know,
You know,
and if anybody's willing to go, you know, I don't know about that part, you know, then we
That happens
check
a
it
lot
out.
too.
Yeah. You have 5 strong individuals, you know,
Right.
that are on their own, you know, have their own individuality. You know, you have things like that all the time. But it's really good. It's a creative thing. You know, it brings out the best in everybody.
Well, one thing that I'm very excited about that I definitely wanted to mention tonight was Livestock. You're going to be playing Livestock. That's Saturday, November 16th.
Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
we're psyched.
And that's an all-ages concert, so I think a lot of your younger
It's gonna
fans
be a
will have
lot
a chance to.
of fun.
Yeah.
It's a great atmosphere. That's sort of a live
It really
outdoor
is, you know,
festival kind of thing.
And it's got to be a blast for you guys to play with all these other bands, you know, to just
Especially
sort of
that night,
mingle and.
because it's going to be, you know, Sabotage, Saigon Kick, you know, people that we know, you know, and it's,
We're friends
you
with
know,
most of the bands that are playing.
so that'll make it a lot more, even more fun.
It'll sort of
But
be
that's
like a
a
big
perfect
party.
chance for young people that, you know, maybe couldn't see us in another setting. There it is.
Well, even
you know.
our Rocket Club shows are pretty much all ages, or, you know,
18 and
at
up,
least
yeah.
18 and up. But
But a
I'm
lot
sure
of the shows, they'll, you know, when we play there, I try to
Come
make
in.
sure that, you know, if people were to come and be persistent, they can get banned and get in there.
Right,
Really?
exactly. No
You
matter,
know.
you know, how old they are.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's
great.
what rock and roll's about, though. You know, it's for the people. You know, we're not playing for the people that are coming there to you know, to pick up people and to drink aren't really into the music anyway. You know, I remember when I went and saw, you know, bands constantly when I was in high school or so. That's all that mattered to me was the band. You know, and I feel that's the way it should be. You know, so those are the people you need to cater to.
We really have, you know, that our fans that are really true to us, really, you know, believe in what we do. So we kind of want to give them what they give to us.
To a lot of musicians, because a lot of musicians talk about Heartless, you know, and I guess you guys can always tell the musicians in the crowd because they're the ones that are like sitting like
Yeah.
this. But a lot of musicians ask for your advice and sort of want to know, you know, maybe some of the newer bands.
Sometimes, you know, sometimes guys have too much of an ego to even say anything to anybody or ask anybody, you know, but most of the guys around the area pretty much, when you live in a happening area, there's a lot of information going around, so you can learn. You just got to keep your ears open, you know, but like management and things, you know, what to do and how to do your shows, and I think if you just keep your ears open and your eyes open and you know, just check out the good bands, and I think you'll learn on your own.
Terrific. Guys, we've got some more calls. Let's go to Barney. How are you tonight, Barney?
Good, how you, Kathy?
I'm great. Is this Barney with the blind mice?
Yeah.
Well, did you just hear what we were
That
talking
Barney.
about with bands and
Yeah, I got a couple
and
questions. How long you guys been together? I mean, the current lineup. Is this on the current lineup?
7 months.
7 months, yeah.
7 months. I was over at a friend's house party and we were listening to some music and he put a Heartless tape on it. So one with the snake on the cover or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounded great, man. The CD was sounding great. I wonder, where do you guys originate from? I mean, your fan club's in Clearwater. I was just curious. Are you all from the North area?
Basically, we're from Florida. You know, it's just
Yeah.
we've been to, you know, everybody's lived in different parts of Florida, but we're a Florida band.
Oh,
and,
good.
We're from Florida.
Homeboy.
Homeboy.
boys? Yep.
What's the, I'm not trying to get you for, what's the average age of you cats? How old are you guys?
We're like mid-20s.
The average, yeah.
No old guys in the band then, huh?
But they all look 16, don't they?
Another question that you already answered earlier, I was curious. She mentioned, I'm in a group also, we're at about the stage where we're looking for some personal management. And although we play a different style of music than you guys do, how would, you know, you can't just look in the yellow pages. Where are we going to find somebody like this? And how are we going to avoid, before you answer, how are we going to avoid, like, say, just stocking it in a regular trade publication, spending thousands of dollars or something and not getting burned anyway?
Well, most
question.
big time management, you know, and I just say that meaning not an individual, you know, probably won't take unsolicited tapes.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Makes
so,
sense.
so you know, it does, you know, it's bad to say, but this business does require a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're gonna, you know, if you could get somebody to represent you as, you know, from a lawyer, just a plain lawyer.
Yeah, good lawyer.
You know, and
Music
then
attorney.
he could, you know, solicit you to management firms, and you would have to look through trade magazines, concrete management, headline management, you know, Doug, you,
Morris.
yeah, the Morris. I'm trying to think
Doug and
about
William.
Doug Thaler's who I'm thinking of. You know, it used to be Doc McGee's partner, is now separate from him, and I mean, all those guys. I know that sounds, you know, like Doug Thaler.
That sounds really good, and I appreciate the time. Hey, Kathy, every time I hear your voice, I want to eat Italian food.
Oh my God. I'm not even going to touch that one,
Oh,
Barney.
baby.
Thanks for calling. You know, and I didn't really want to neglect this, but you're the former vocalist for Juliet. Kenny, have you used a lot of your connections maybe to try and get Heartless a little bit of a bigger push to some of them?
Absolutely. You know, that was part of my career. Actually, everything that was going down with me and Heartless was going down, and I was making sure every step I'd made forward was sewed up and in my back pocket.
So in
before
other words,
the
you weren't
bomb was
burning any
dropped.
bridges.
Right.
All right.
You know, before it was, you know, it wasn't like I said, okay, I quit, bye. You know, and I actually had a tape with me singing Heartless music, went into the record company, and all publicists that I worked with, management that I worked with, investors that I worked with, I made them all aware, let them hear it, made them part of it. You know, this is what I want to do, this is a change I'm going to do, you know, and I want you to be, you know, support me in it. So I tied up all the ropes before
That's
I jumped.
fantastic. I mentioned before you're a good businessman. Guys, we have to take a break, but we do have a couple more callers, so let's take them very quickly. We've got about a minute left, and this is some guy. Some guy. Who is
I just
it?
want to tell these guys, they were up at a place where I work about maybe 2 months ago. I think their light man's girlfriend is a waitress there.
Oh, yeah. I know who you are, man.
I'm too crazy, the guy, I'm kind of a quiet guy.
I recognize your voice.
But I just want to say, these guys are the nicest guys. They came in, they sat there real quiet, but really, they were the nicest, most polite guys I ever met, but don't ever invite them to dinner. I just want to say that. Bunch of gave us a CD. That was a great CD you guys gave us, if you even know you gave it to us.
I know.
I just want to tell you guys, and I'm telling you, I've been doing this for 40 years, but these guys are sharp guys. I want to tell you something. If they get something going, you're going to hear from these guys. That's all I want to say. I got to get to work.
All right,
All right,
man.
thanks for calling.
Guys.
I know that
David,
guy.
we've got 30 seconds. Do you have a question for Heartless?
Lounge guy.
David. Oh, I think we lost David. Guys, I want to invite you back anytime, and I hope the next time you'll bring your guitars and play something for us. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing you at Livestock. And you're playing the Rocket Club? Is it
November 23rd.
November 23rd.
And also in Orlando at the Hard Rock Station on
Halloween
night.
Yeah.
Terrific.
So that's not too far away.
No, and people need to call up the radio stations and keep requesting.
Yeah,
Heartless.
they have to keep us on the radio.
Absolutely, and I don't have any doubts in my mind that you're on your way to some terrific things. I'm absolutely positive of it. And come back anytime. Thanks a lot for being here.
Had a great time.
We will be back in just a couple of minutes with Vandal. Right now, we're going to show you the Mr. Big video. It's called To Be With You, and if you call during the video, you've got yourself a free Mr. Big CD. So call right now.